Strategically adding optimized and relevant internal links to your collection pages from across your Shopify store is one of the quickest and easiest ways to boost their organic performance. Many store owners either don't add internal links to collection pages at all, or they mess it up completely by not following a proven and consistent framework. In this video, I'll show you the 3 main types of internal links to add to your collection pages, the exact guidelines to follow for them, as well as common mistakes to avoid along the way. Adding optimized, handcrafted internal links to and between your collection pages is a huge opportunity most Shopify stores are missing out on, which is great news for you because you're watching this video and your competitors aren't. This is one way you can get ahead of them, which is a little bit of effort. So why do internal links matter in the first place? So they help pages get crawled and indexed, especially new pages, recently published pages. It's harder and harder to get your pages indexed. So adding internal links shows that they're important if you're connecting them to the rest of your site. No orphan pages allowed. Internal links also help you spread link juice, link equity across your site. So if you have a lot of backlinks pointing to a page and you add internal links to other pages from that page, you're helping those secondary pages that you're linking to get some of that backlink power as well, benefit from that SEO juice. And most importantly, adding well-crafted internal links helps you rank with less backlinks needed. So if you're able to leverage backlinks that you have pointing to your homepage and other pages across your site, adding these internal links, building basically internal links instead of external backlinks to pages helps them rank better as well. So just by improving your on-page SEO, that actually can mean that you need less backlinks and less budget needed to rank for certain keywords. So where do we want to add internal links? The 3 main areas that we want to consider here are linking to our collection pages from other collection pages, from our homepage, and from relevant blog posts where it makes sense. So linking between collections, so collection to collection, what we want to do is add internal links between our collections, which is an underutilized but powerful way for them to rank better. So yes, kind of the most relevant link that a collection page get is from another collection page on your store. So yes, quick little diagram. I'll show a better one, more detailed in a second. Okay, so what guidelines do we want to follow here? Basically, add internal links between your collections from description on your collection page. So link 2 different relevant collections from each collection page. So basically, every collection page should have at least one internal link going to another collection page, as well as having an internal link coming from at least another collection page. So yeah, don't want any orphan collection pages. Don't leave any of them out. And most importantly, to maximize the effect of these internal links to and from each collection, be sure to use descriptive and optimized anchor text, keyword-rich anchors for each page that you're linking to. So for example here, if we have this jewelry store with different pages, so these are different sizes of tungsten rings, 4mm, 6, 8 different width for each of those rings. Here's an example of how we can go about adding internal links, just to give a more concrete example of what's going on. So linking to this 8mm page with 8mm tungsten rings as the anchor text. Similar thing for the 6mm one. Basically, the first internal link that you add, use your main keyword. It keeps things simple. And in the case, like here in this example, where we have multiple internal links pointing to this 4mm tungsten ring. So here, the blue arrows basically are there. Use the main keyword here, 4mm tungsten rings, and then some sort of variation for every subsequent internal link that you end up adding to this page. You can repeat them a little bit, but yeah, I wouldn't overdo it. Don't just make every single internal link the exact match main keyword. Mix it up. So here, 4mm wide rings, or narrow rings rather, would be a good anchor as well. So the mistakes that you want to avoid here basically are, like I mentioned, don't just spam the exact same anchor text for each collection. If you're linking another example, so say like running shoes, be sure to use just different variations here. So use like shoes for running, favorite running shoes, runner shoes as well. Just a way to add variety. And you can even use the singular and plural versions to kind of count as different variations. So if you use like running shoe, and running shoes. I would kind of count those as two different anchors, even though, I mean, they're basically the same thing, but you can just give a little more weight to each of those variations that people might be searching for. And yeah, if you run out of ideas, don't know what else to use for your anchor text, what you can do to generate more ideas is just go back to your keyword research and utilize any secondary or supporting keywords that you have for each collection. So here, for example, if we had like running shoes as our main keyword, and then we had shoes for running, runner shoes are like secondary keywords. That's kind of where these ideas come from, really. They should be highly related to the page that you're linking to. That's one way, just looking at your keyword research and utilizing those keywords. And if your store has been around for a while, collection page has been published, you can even check Google Search Console for the queries or keywords that each collection page is already getting impressions and clicks for. So that indicates that Google sees that page as being relevant for those queries, those keywords. So you can utilize those as anchor text for your internal links. And also really want to avoid using generic anchor text. This is a big mistake that I see frequently. So the anchor text should always be specific to the exact page that you're linking to, not the page you're linking from. And so basically, if you have a lot of variations, in this case, I guess going back just to this example, what distinguishes each of these collections is the size. So we want to just be sure to include some sort of indication that we're linking to those size pages here. So each of the anchors to each of these pages should have 4, 6, 8 millimeter. Just that's what distinguishes them from all the other collections. We don't want to use just the generic tungsten ring, since we have a main like tungsten ring page as well as tons of other tungsten rings in this example. So be sure to keep it as specific as possible to indicate any kind of variation or distinction of what makes those collection pages special or unique. So also just for the sake of example, so running shoes, if we have like blue and black running shoes as well as a main running shoes, don't link to your blue running shoes, black running shoes, size 10 men's running shoes, which is the generic like running shoes anchor. Be sure to just keep that specific for both Google and visitors. Make sure you can just understand what page they're going to find, like by clicking the link. Just by looking at the anchor text, it should be as descriptive enough. So you can just know what page you're linking to based on the anchor text. Next up is linking to your collections from your homepage. So in case you weren't aware, your homepage is the most powerful SEO page due to the number of backlinks pointing to it. It can and should have the most backlinks out of all the pages on your store. So what we want to do is leverage that backlink power to boost our most important collection pages. So seeing our homepage, just want to link down to our most collection pages. So there are a few caveats that I will be going over about how to do this appropriately. First off, you want to limit the number of collections you're linking to. So link to your top 10 to 30. That's a good range of collections, sub-collections from your homepage. So of course, this depends on the size of your store. If you only have a handful of collections, sure, you can link to all of them. But if you have dozens, hundreds, potentially collections, you want to narrow that down to the most important ones, like just most competitive keywords, basically, kind of the upper level collection pages. And then from those ones, you can link to sub-collections. But I wouldn't just link to 100 different collections and sub-collections directly from the homepage. Since the homepage is the most powerful page, like the most powerful internal link that you can build to each of your collection pages, be sure to use the collection's main keyword as the anchor text when you link to it from the homepage, just to maximize the effect here. You don't want to just use like read more or shop this collection like a generic anchor here. Really leverage it. Similar, like when you're building backlinks, use like the most powerful sites, use the most targeted anchor text possible. So here, use your main keyword or a very slight variation of it as the anchor text if you can, for the biggest impact. And another thing to keep in mind, the higher up on the page that you add the internal links, the more weight that they'll have. So don't just stuff them all at the very bottom of your homepage. Try to add them up as high as you can. Obviously, don't add it above your H1, your page title. Don't just Make your entire above the fold section just links to your collection pages. Don't go too crazy on the other extreme either. But just keep in mind, if you can add it in this second or third section on your homepage, higher up, the better. And another tip you can keep in mind, if you've published a collection page, maybe even built backlinks to it, and it's not ranking where it should be, yeah, check if it's being linked to from the homepage. So if not, link to it from the homepage for an extra ranking boost. So yeah, just kind of in general, any collection page that's stuck, add a link to it from the homepage if you can, to give it the best shot of ranking. Here are some examples in the wild of what I mean. So here's just kind of like an image slider of this Corvette store linking to different sub collections. So they have a heading here, Corvette parts and accessories. So kind of an H2. And then under here, they have, you see kind of the image for each of those main collections. And then they actually they use H3 headings here for each of the anchors. So this is descriptive of the page that we're linking to. So here, this covers page links to Corvette car covers. Similar story for wheels apparel, like the different ones that they link to. This is one option of how you can set up internal links. I would recommend using kind of image sliders for at least the very high level collection pages. And then for more of sub collections, what you can do is sneak in kind of a targeted, really highly optimized section like this, to just be able to link to as many collections as possible, keeping in mind that you don't want to link to every single collection from your homepage in most cases. So what you can do here, like Gymshark does, so just under each of these main headings, they have a list, not even bullet points. You could use bullet points if you want. It really just comes down to how you want to format it. But the key thing to keep in mind is you can just tell they have exact match anchors here. And of course, the main keyword is what distinguishes each collection from each other. So even though they have lots of leggings keywords, each of these serve a unique audience, have a unique search intent. So keep that in mind as well. And of course, the mistakes you want to avoid, like I mentioned, you'll get diminishing returns if you try to link to hundreds of collections from your homepage. I would avoid that unless you have a ton of domain authority. I would limit the collections to about 10 to 30 is a good rule of thumb to keep in mind, as well as just avoid using those generic anchors. Shop now. We can do better than that, basically. Don't dilute the power of each internal link that you build from your homepage. Make the most of it by using optimized anchors. And last up of the locations that we want to add internal links to our collection pages is from relevant blog posts. So first of all, if you're not adding any internal links from your blog posts to your collections or products, something's wrong. Like your blog strategy is not a revenue focused strategy. You're maybe focused on just getting traffic, but the whole point of blog posts, build topical authority and send more relevant traffic, whether it's top, middle, bottom of the funnel traffic, towards your collections and product pages. So also goes without saying you should also enter a link between blog posts, but I'm focusing on collections here, but just want to mention that you should also add internal links between them. But kind of a way you can go about it, just each blog post should link to at least 1 to 3 collections is a good rule of thumb. Kind of similar to the homepage. Don't link to like 20 different collections from every blog post, probably overkill. I would keep that relevant. So only link to the most relevant collections possible, just based on the exact topic of the post. And then ideally, even from whatever section you add the internal link in the blog post from, should be directly related as possible to the collection page that you're linking to, just for maximum impact again. And you really want to add internal links contextually within the actual article text, also for the biggest impact. But you can embed buttons or other kind of sliders, widgets, whatever you want to call them, or however your theme is set up, just to basically add in more mentions of these collection pages. But if you can add them contextually, that's basically get you the most bang for the buck here. And here is an example of what I'm talking about. So they have their blog post, blah, 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 about how to do squats in this example for this fitness site. and then they add in like, oh, whether you want to wear whatever the leggings or these type of shorts. So yeah, they're really kind of forcing it a little bit, but it's relevant enough. So talking about how to do a type of exercise, and they link to their exercise clothing. So relevant enough to make it work. It's not completely random here of what they're doing. And they also have buttons here linking to kind of more general posts or general collections. I would have linked to more relevant ones here, but since it's doing squats, that's kind of like a general thing, and there's not whatever best leggings for squats. Maybe there's a collection for that. Best shorts for squats. I guess that's kind of what they're going for with these internal links. But it is an example of how you can set these internal links up as like buttons or some other structure besides these contextual links in your blog posts. And yeah, key things that you want to keep in mind: not adding any internal links. If you're not internally linking at all, yeah, something's wrong. So at least add some sort of internal link, please, from your blog posts. Get your blog posts to actually help drive revenue to your store, and don't just randomly link to whatever collection you want. Don't force it. Try to keep it as relevant as possible for the biggest impact. Okay, so to sum things up, we want to add contextual, optimized internal links to each of our collection pages from other relevant collections, from your homepage, and from relevant blog posts. Doing this will give each of your collections the best possibility to rank, best shot of ranking for your target keywords. And if you do this right, you will need less backlinks to rank them by maximizing your on-page SEO efforts. That does it for this video about internal linking collection pages. If this video was helpful, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel for more Shopify SEO tips, and click the first link in the description below for a full training guide on maximizing your Shopify store's SEO. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.